Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Good afternoon. I am Sackhead Clint. Seated to my right is Sackhead Sean.
We're not doing this again.
It's my right. Don't argue with me. We're here at Freedom Fest from Planet Hollywood, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're here with a couple extraordinary people. I'm very excited to have these guests. So I'm going to let you introduce yourselves. They are from a film, Intrepid Spirits, if I'm right, from Intrepid Fallen Heroes is the organization. So please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do.
My name is Drew Tidwell, and thank you for having us. And I am a producer for Passing Lane Films, and we made this film called Intrepid Spirits for the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. I am here with my wife, Helen Strait. Helen?
And I'm Helen Strait, and I'm the owner of Passing Lane Films.
So you're the boss.
Yes.
Boss.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to make sure who we should pander
Correct.
to. Okay.
Right, yeah, not just professionally, but probably personally too, I'm guessing.
Yes.
And he
We
admits
alternate.
it, so that's good, right? Happy marriage, that's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Helen, mission accomplished. Good
Yeah.
job.
And the awesome thing is you're going to have this clip to constantly remind him because we're going to send you the link for marketing and whatnot. So you can just keep this part specifically, and when he starts arguing, you say, and hit the play button,
Yeah.
and then you have his admission.
It'll be her ringtone.
Yeah, excellent.
Outstanding.
So please tell us about your project, kind of how this came to be, how you guys got involved, what made you want to put this project together.
It was about 18 months ago at this point now. A gentleman by the name of Clark Judge, who runs the White House Writer Group in Washington, D.C., approached us to do this film, which was to do like a mini documentary about the Intrepid Spirit Centers. The Intrepid Spirit Centers are facilities that are at military bases that help soldiers, sailors, and Marines who suffer from TBI and PTSD. And it's actually kind of a revolutionary approach to treatment. Basically, it's one building, and they have 20 to 30 different treatments that they put these soldiers, sailors, and Marines through who have suffered from TBI or PTSD, and basically try and rehabilitate them. And in doing so, they've been finding out a lot of different things that they didn't know about before. The neuroplasticity of the brain and how the brain actually has the ability to heal itself. And they're finding new information every day about brain and brain treatment, and they don't know why this approach is working, but they do know that it does because they have over a 90% success rate.
Wow.
In active military returning back to active duty after they go through this program.
So they're not only healing, they're healing and they're well enough to go back to active duty.
Correct.
That's amazing.
90% success rate.
Amazing.
And are you talking about physical trauma, physical brain head injury traumas, or are you talking psychological and emotional trauma as well, considering it's the PTSD and so forth?
Yes, it is both. They're kind of linked, again, because brain science is great now. There's still a lot that we don't know. So, somebody goes through a concussion or gets, blown up in Iraq and Afghanistan, they may have a brain injury, no physical injuries, and it's really kind of hard to diagnose.
Right.
But since 2000, they estimate 320,000 service members have received some sort of TBI. Wow. And the great thing about this, too, though, is the military wasn't doing a heck of a lot to treat this. And there was a man, his name is Arnold Fisher, and he started the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund. He said, well, the military's not doing this, so I am going to do this. And he is raising the funds on his own. And he is also building the facilities. And he just said to the government, get out of my way because I can do this for half the cost at twice the speed. And he's been doing it. He's been true to his word. Truly an amazing man, Mr. Fisher.
So what motivated you to want to be involved in this project? Because as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, you folks are filmmakers, correct? So what motivated you guys to accept this as a project, to agree to take it on, and to really run with it?
Do you want to take this one, Helen?
I think primarily we had worked with Clark Judge before on some other films that we had done, and it was a really unique opportunity to help our troops. And TBI has been in the news a lot, and to actually go and see that there is treatment, it was just so amazing. And I was like, this is going to be a great film. And sometimes we make films that are a little challenging, that you don't get certain people upset. But we knew that this was a film that people would really be able to get behind. And this guy, it wasn't like he was just starting out with his fingers crossed, Arnold Fisher, like hoping maybe this would work. He already has a lot of success, and we thought we can make a film and really showcase all of this success. And that's really going to help more people.
Outstanding. So what is kind of the format of this film? How'd you guys put it together?
Well, if you want to go through the nuts and bolts, I can. Clark told us to do this project. We agreed. We went down, we scouted at Fort Campbell and Camp Lejeune, and we interviewed the doctors, and we interviewed the patients, and we interviewed basically anybody that would talk to us. Came with a plan. Stephen Zorn, our writer, and Helen wrote the script off of the interviews. Of course, it's a documentary, so it just had some sort of outline going. We went down, and soldiers, sailors, Marines, their families were all very open. The doctors explained everything to us. And it was just a truly unique, amazing experience. Like Helen mentioned earlier, this is a project that we are extremely, extremely proud of. This project is just... I can't even put words to it. One other thing I would also like to mention about Arnold Fisher and how generous he is. He has his foundation set up. If you donate to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, 100% of your donation goes to building these centers because he and his board cover the overhead costs.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's I don't know of any other charity that's like that. I'm sure there are. I just don't know of them. But yeah, it's just been amazing.
And you can do that at fallenheroesfund.org, or you can text text troops to 27722. I want to make sure we get that out there so people know where to donate. Would you say that this is kind of a project of your lifetime?
Yeah, definitely of my career. I've been doing this for 20 years. This has been great, and this is definitely, I think Helen would attest, the best project that Passing Lane Films has done, and it's just been truly, truly rewarding.
Certainly personal.
And that's why I kind of wanted to get into the nuts and bolts about how this kind of came about, because our listeners really want to hear about the background of this. So not just, hey, it's a great film and a good cause, but how did you put this together? You interviewed the troops, the doctor's family really kind of brings it all together for our listeners.
Yeah. And Arnold Fisher, he says whoever I bring to an Intrepid Spirits Center, they actually get on board. They'll give their time, they'll give their money, they'll do whatever they can to help people out. But he can't bring everybody down there. So he said, through Clark Judge, film these centers. I know it's going to come out very good, this film, because I know what these things do, what these centers do, and we're going to bring it to other people. So, they will then be inspired, like if I bring people down there.
Well, and it is extremely inspirational. And again, who you're helping is the most important part here. Obviously, Mr. Fisher is a very gracious and wonderful man to do what he's done. But the end game, and I'm sure he would agree, is the soldiers that you're helping, the people who in this country raise their hand and give everything in order to protect our freedoms and our liberties, who often get injured in ways that up until recently we couldn't even comprehend. And there's still ways we can't comprehend and understand how to fix, especially when you're talking about brain injuries, etc. And it goes to show, and this is one of those stories that we talk about a lot on our show, is taking care of the veterans who take care of us. And here you have Mr. Fisher, who is doing a wonderful thing to take care in ways where the government is failing. And in a way, we, the people, are failing because the government, it's up to the government from us, and we're not getting it done. And it's really heartwarming to see somebody take the lead on this and say, hey, you know what, we'll cover the overhead. I don't care about that. It's about saving these soldiers and repairing them and letting them lead their life again. They've given so much for us. So to see that be done in the private sector is just, and to be, like you said, to be able to do it for less is absolutely astounding. And then to have the film put together, which you guys obviously put your heart, soul into, is just amazing. How many centers are open?
I believe that there are 6 centers that are open.
6.
And they're going to have 3 more slated to go. They're on military bases. In these centers, I mean, they do save lives.
Yes.
It's hard to put a number on it. One other interesting thing that came out of these centers is, the neuroplasticity of like how the brain can actually heal itself or rewire itself and work it. They've also found that it works for more than just TBI. It works for... because the wars are winding down, the centers don't have as many patients, so they've opened it up to, the service members' families. So children who have autism are going through these centers at Fort Campbell, and they're having positive results.
Wow.
I don't know, people who go through cancer treatment, they get chemotherapy. Well, chemotherapy has a effect on your brain, and they call it chemobrain. And you start to lose memory and things like that. So some of those patients are going through the centers, and their brain function is returning. It's again truly amazing. The most amazing thing too is they still don't know how this works, but they know it does work, and it's this interdisciplinary approach. I mean, they do everything from they do medication, but then they also do acupuncture. They do yoga. They do neurooptometry, and all of these things together work well, and everybody is under one roof. So all these doctors talk to each other. They have an intake with a soldier, a sailor, or a Marine, and he tells the story once to all of the physicians. They do it one day, and they just have people come in and in and in. So that way everybody has, knows what the story is. He only has to tell his story once, or she has to tell her story once. And it really empowers the patient, and it makes them in charge of their illness, not that their illness is in charge of them.
And this is your latest project, correct? I'm sorry, did you have...
Oh, and I would say one other thing, too, that really makes the treatment effective is, like he said, all the doctors are in one facility, and I think everyone has had an experience in their life where they go see their doctor, they send you for referral, it's inconvenient, you put it off a week, you put it off another week, and so you slip through the cracks. And so the military has really found a way to keep people. So if you get a referral, the guy's right next door. You're not driving across town when you're already dealing with a lot of mental stress. You're not putting it off. You're not making excuses because the doctor's right next door and the next doctor's next door to him.
Right.
So that's what really makes it effective. And I mean, I'm hoping that this format's really going to translate into civilian medicine eventually. It's going to be possibly a while in the future, but that's truly what makes it effective.
So is that one of your goals also for the film, to bring this not only to the attention of everybody, to hopefully expand this treatment option and so forth as well?
Hopefully down the road, we could do that. We have a lot of footage. It's very military oriented, but about the research, which Helen just mentioned too, though, what's really great is that the military is now starting to link all of these spirit centers together, and they're going to start collaborating and doing research projects and then just finding out more about the brain and how to help people, because everybody knows somebody who has had a concussion, have it be from a motorcycle accident, a football game, or just falling down the stairs, and once they find out more and this gets into the civilian community, it's just going to help a lot of people.
Groundbreaking. It seems to be extremely groundbreaking, and it's amazing again to see the private sector step up for our heroes.
That's what it should be.
Exactly.
The government shouldn't be involved in that.
And this is one of those stories that I am shocked that more people don't know this is going on, when you have so many soldiers, Marines, sailors coming back from overseas with injuries, with PTSD, etc., that everyone's talking about the injury itself in the news, but they're not talking about institutions like this that are actually doing something to fix it. You don't hear about this anywhere. And it's maddening because of all the different places that people should be knowing about, and I say it all the time, taking care of our veterans are the most important things, and this should just be out front.
And not only that, but a collaboration of entrepreneurs, right? You have a collaboration of the gentleman who started this whole thing and this treatment and so forth, and the collaboration of you folks and your companies coming together to really raise awareness even more, not just the treatment, but to raise the awareness and bring it to the American public as a whole. And so that's that type of collaboration that I think is so important. And I'm so happy to hear that. Do you guys have other works you want to talk about while folks are listening?
Actually, yesterday, just got word from my editor that we finished our latest project that's complete, called iWhiskey. It's part of a series made for the Competitive Enterprise Institute. We did iPencil, A couple years ago. It's based on Leonard Read's short essay, I Pencil. I don't know if you guys have read it, but if you could, or everybody should. You can get it on the internet. You should see our movie, I Pencil, at ipencilmovie.org, and then I Whiskey, which is a sequel to it, which I'll tell you about it in half a second.
I like whiskey better. So
Whiskey is great.
We're off to a good
Pencils are
start.
wonderful too. But it's basically I Whiskey is about freedom in the marketplace. And we use whiskey as a vehicle to tell that story. It's going to be coming out in September through Competitive Enterprise Institute. And it basically shows that once regulations are relaxed on a product, it can then flourish. So why do we have so many craft distillers now? Why do we have so many varieties of whiskey? Which is a great thing. Variety is great. Choice is great.
whiskey is great.
Whiskey is great, and everybody loves whiskey. Well, anyone over 21.
And has taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason we have all of this flourishing of the whiskey industry is because of a relaxation of regulations, which sounds a little weird, but it actually has happened in this one industry to a certain extent, even though regulations are growing by leaps and bounds every single day.
And they will find a way to regulate them otherwise if we're not cautious now.
Exactly.
Because you always have people that want to make the money off of it in one way or another. And folks, thank you so much. The film is... Did you have something else you wanted to say, or did I miss something?
No. I was going to ask him to help folks tell them where to find him.
I was going to do it.
I know you were. That's
You
why
know
I didn't say anything.
You had a better idea, my friend.
Listen. This is what we've been married.
Oh, okay.
Not literally, because that's just not our thing. But we've been for what, 8 years, 9 years, 10,
Yeah,
11, like a long time,
long time.
Yeah, and he's like the wife, not in the sense that he's usually right.
Oh, so he owns the company?
He owns the company.
Right.
Basically, he owns the company, and I work for him.
The film is called Intrepid Spirits. To find out more about Fallen Heroes Fund, go to fallenheroesfund.org or text troops to 27722. And how can they find the film company?
Well, the film is available online on passinglanefilms.com website. You could also find it on the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund website.
And there's Twitter involved as well, I was told,
They can find you on Twitter as well as @Intrepid Spirits.
for the movie.
Or no, I believe it's Intrepid Heroes.
Intrepid Heroes, I
Yes.
apologize. @Intrepid Heroes.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today.
Excellent. Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you very
It's
much.
been a lot of fun.
Live
you.
from Freedom Fest, you've been listening to the SHR Media
This is going to be a recording. This isn't going to be live. Why do you do that?
Conservative
Play us
media
out.
done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.